Welcome, everybody, to another Bobcat esports matchup today. Today, the Bobcats will be facing Gilbert as the Bobcats are looking to look for their first win. So we are going to be jumping in here live to make sure, watch everyone get in here and get started. Alrighty. Looks like they're just doing some quick setting changes, and then looks like they will be joining and getting started on today's matchup. So today for the Bobcats, we actually have Electricities, which is Peyton. And then we have Autistic-tism, which is Evan Anderson. And then it's Zinx Mini, which is Chris Ronald Ramirez. So as I stated before, the Bobcats are looking for their first win here. Hopefully they are able to get it against Gilbert, as we are watching all of them kind of switch out. So we'll stick on Chris here as he is trying to rotate out, make sure his teammates are following behind, following suit. Looks like a 3 polyp as Evan climbing the walls, trying to get the ball out of the area, out of the pressure from the Bobcats, trying to move it up till Gilbert's side of the field. Chris is kind of sitting behind on the defense as Evan ends up trying to swoop in and get the ball out of there. So we'll switch back to Chris. Peyton trying to fly in there and trying to get the ball back. Gilbert trying to make a possession, trying to make a move going into the Bobcats' side of their goal. As we have Evan bouncing it back towards Peyton. Chris there to follow up with the shot, but Gilbert being able to get the first touch back and moving it to the Bobcat side. Trying to chip it right over the Bobcats, and it looks like Gilbert is able to score up against the Bobcats there. So, bit of a miss hit there, maybe a miscommunication, something, but lack of coordination there caused the Bobcats to conceal a goal as they look to move onwards and try to do something. So Chris trying to get the ball back onto Gilbert's side of the field. Evan as he's trying to move in and trying to get the ball in an attacking spot. Turning around quickly, passing it towards the center, which we have Chris missing. Evan bouncing the ball back. And Chris trying to play the ball back towards the center, towards his teammates, as we are watching Evan kind of get the ball back out of there. Peyton following up Sweet, trying to set up something. Chris following. Peyton trying to set up something, trying to find an opening for the Bobcats to create a chance and capitalize on it. Evan trying to shoot from up top, almost getting a corner. Evan shooting in again. The Gilbert being there though, trying to block it. Peyton chipping it there. Evan trying to set up for Peyton. As nice job there by Chris being able to follow up and get that shot for the Bobcats, which bring up the lead again, tying them up 1-1. Nice shot there by Chris being able to get it down there in the bottom corner where they're not able to necessarily get it. So the Bobcats will end up tying it up and actually keeping it even 1-1. As they're looking to capitalize again, moving the ball up towards Gilbert's half. Chris, as we keep an eye on him, trying to get the ball back out. Gilbert being able to steal that boost pad. Move on to Peyton as the Bobcats look to try to get the ball out of their side of the field. Evan still on the ball with possession. Peyton trying to move up forward to Gilbert to try to do something with it. Chris being able to intercept the ball. Stop it at mid-half court there. Evan and Chris able to move up and get the ball out of position there as maybe a shooting chance. Peyton barely missing. Close shot there by the Bobcats. Almost able to score again there as Gilbert looks to be super defensive, which is a nice chance there by Peyton as he's able to chip it in and actually get it inside the goal. So being able to just kind of sneak it in there, as I'm not sure entirely what Gilbert was actually doing there. So the Bobcats end up moving up 2-1. Nice job there by the Bobcats. Bobcats are just moving in now, starting up 3-1 as they're catching Gilbert by surprise. So great job by the Bobcats there and getting a goal in right away, moving up 2 goals, getting a 2-goal lead as there's 30 seconds remaining left. So hopefully Gilbert can hold on to this lead, or the Bobcats can hold on to this lead to avoid Gilbert from taking match 1. Kind of the momentum and lifeline that the Bobcats are needing. But having the starting roster change a few times, and Coach Daniel Habbins there getting his communication in with his players, changing out a lot of the strategics on there, keeping the ball up in the air as the timer doesn't essentially stop until the ball touches the ground. So great job by the Bobcats, ending up to move the score out to 2-1. So the Bobcats take match 1 as we will have the Bobcats taking in game 1. So great job to the Bobcats taking out first game. Like I said, much needed win for the Bobcats to end up going and taking the first match there. As we will move on to match 2. And as we're waiting for them to start getting ready and all that, we will take a short commercial break, just thanking our sponsors and supporters for helping us out and getting our esports program started. So we'll be right back.
A heartfelt thank you goes out to all of our incredible sponsors and supporters. Without your generosity, our esports program wouldn't be possible. A special thank you to our sponsors, Raycom, MacDine, UFCW, Local 1149, JBS, Marshalltown Company, and Emerson. Your commitment and support are truly appreciated. We also want to extend our gratitude to our supporters, Subcity and Minuteman Printing and Graphics. Your contributions make a huge difference, and we're grateful to have you by our side.
All right, as we are back here for the Bobcats to take on Gilbert, we'll move on to match 2. So Bobcats are up 1-0 against Gilbert, taking game 1. As everyone ends up trying to keep the exact same starting lineup, so no changes there. Which you would not want to change up a winning formula. So we still have Peyton going in, Evan jumping in as well, staying in there as the Bobcats look up to try to score, moving in there as Gilbert ends up trying to get the ball back. moving it towards the Bobcats positioning. Evan defending as they... Oh, sorry, it's a little bit backwards. So they're at Gilbert's goal, trying to score in. A nice job by Chris being able to go in there and score. Bobcats end up moving in to a 1-0 startup. So great job by the Bobcats. Sorry, I'm actually going to be taking off this overlay. There we go. Chris again holding the ball towards Gilbert's end of the goal. Payton kind of holding it down on the defensive end, being the goalkeeper, blocking, making sure none of the goals go past him into the Bobcats' end. Evan ended up pushing the ball back out, booting it towards Gilbert's side. Chris ends up getting demoed, which then Payton ends up juggling the ball back up in the air, trying to get Gilbert to commit or miss the ball. Gilbert being able to push the ball back towards the Bobcats as they're trying to fly up in the air. Payton stopping it, though. Not able to do anything with that as Payton stands there as a wall. Again, Payton just kind of sitting back on the defensive end, trying to make sure no balls go into the goal as Evan then now moves up towards the goal, one-on-one, trying to shoot up, trying to chip it over, but not able to stop or get the ball back into the end of the goal as the ball ends up moving now towards the Bobcats' end of the goal. Chris being able to stop now, take the spot over for Payton as he clears the ball out of the area, gets it back to about maybe half court. Evan chipping it back into the center of Gilbert's side, being accidentally bumped by Chris as everyone's just kind of bumping and crashing each other, bumpers, cars all over the place. But the Bobcats finally able to actually have a full starting roster, starting out full healthy rosters. Payne was able to miss last week because of sickness and these sicknesses kind of going around, but able to do something there. Looks like Chris trying to do some kind of maneuver, get the ball situated as his teammates are just kind of sitting in the back. Payton able again to, like I said, be that wall, stop the defense, but ends up getting demoed. But Chris taking the revenge, demoing. Nice pass there, but not being able to do anything as Gilbert was there to stop that goal from going in. Kind of pass it to Chris. Chris just kind of off to the side, not able to put very much potency behind that goal as, again, chip it towards the center. Nice job by Evan being able to chip it towards the center and able to score the Bobcats' second goal. So great job there by Chris being able to center that goal out to Evan and being able to score and move up to a 2-0 lead. So Bobcats are starting to change things around and actually being able to do some work here. As we will move into Payton, which Evan ends up getting demoed there at the very end. But Chris being able to start out and get the ball back out of the goal. Payton trying to chip it towards the center goal, maybe try to get to my off guard. Chris kind of sitting here in the center. Nice job there by Payton flying in and getting that ball back out of the Bobcats goal line. Chris sitting patiently, but unfortunately being able to get demoed as ends up mistaking. Chris got it as they run sure who was behind them since Chris had not yet come back from his demo. Respawning. Evan holding the ball. Still towards the Bobcats' end of the goal as they are trying to move up, but kind of a misinput there as they end up getting scored on, or mistake by Payton as he was trying to get the ball back out of there, but kind of a cool goal celebration there, but Again, moving up forward now. And as long as it doesn't touch the ground, the game will still go on, which they're not able to prevent the ball from going down below and hitting the ground, so they will end up moving, winning game 2. So the Bobcats are up to a 2-0 lead. So the Bobcats is kind of putting in work right now as they are moving up and able to coordinate and play well together as a team. So as they are getting ready again towards the next matchup here, Coach Daniel is getting his team situated and squared away as he is strategizing his next plans going forward. But the Bobcats off to a great start, being able to capitalize on the opportunities they're having and essentially move in and go into a 2-0 lead. So now we will move on to a match 3 with the Bobcats. So match 3, if Bobcats end up holding on, and as it's been going on for the past 2 matches, they could potentially hold on to this lead and end up clutching their first win of the season. But we will see, as both matchups were very close. Evan blocking the ball, getting it out, getting it back. Kind of just playing a bit of a slower pace is what it looks like. Demoed. Evan ends up getting demoed. Gilbert clearing the ball back out of there. Not wanting that ball sitting there in their spot for too long. Trying to bump Gilbert. Payton passing the ball back. Playing bumper cars with the ball. Getting it back and forth. As Evan ends up moving the ball back towards the center. Trying to pass it to one of his teammates. Chris ends up trying to go for it, but not getting tall enough to get the ball. Evan flying in, getting the ball back out of there. Payton coming back. Nice shot there by Evan, passing it to one of his partners there, which of course happened to be Payton. Missed redirecting it, getting it away from Gilbert and scoring the Bobcats' first goal, which they'll end up moving up to a 1-0 lead for the Bobcats. So need to just keep playing like this and keep trying to score. As Gilbert looking to do something, keep the ball out of the area, keep the ball out of their goal. But Evan not wanting it to leave there, wanting it to stay there at Gilbert's side of the goal. As Gilbert almost scores there, but Evan, again, being able to jump in and protect his team as they're all just clustering up and jumping in. So looking for some misdirection there, setting something up. Looks like Chris is having some technical issues as he is able to All right. Apologies about that. So looks like one of the players ended up crashing. His game ended up crashing as they were playing mid-match. So Gilbert ended up leaving instead of pausing the matchup. So as we get the match set up again before the game ended up crashing, we will jump back on. But for the meantime, we'll just take a quick break while everything gets regrouped again and rescheduled or taken care of. And then we will jump back into the matchup. Okay, and the Bobcats are now back during the matchup, trying to see how they end up doing against Gilbert during match 3. So they end up putting the Bobcats back at a 1-0 before the disconnect ended up happening. Oh, we have Evan up in the air, trying to get the ball back into the Bobcats, into Gilbert's side of the goal. As Peyton ends up coming in, or Evan ends up coming in. Sorry, it looks like Peyton and Evan ended up matching cards now, so a bit confusing now to know who is who. Evan up in the air, trying to get the ball back out into Gilbert's side as It was in a threatening position there in the Bobcats' goal. Gilbert moving the ball towards down the Bobcats side. But Evan, attentive, sitting at the goal line, making sure, waiting for his teammates to show up. Payan trying to disrupt Gilbert's momentum, their game plan. As 1 minute remaining for Gilbert to at least try to kick and try to get the ball back into the Bobcats' goal, trying to at least even it up, tie it up. Nice demo from Payan. As again, sitting there waiting. Oh, almost scored. As again, just kind of trying to do something or at least keep it here at this 1-0. As Gilbert is trying to desperately try to do something. Gonna have to keep the ball up in the air. Make sure that it doesn't touch the ground as they try to chip it back. And because of that, the Bobcats end up winning as the ball touches the ground right as it hits 0. So as that goes on, everyone was just kind of in the mode today, in the mood, making sure everything was kind of going as it's supposed to be. So kind of great job by the Bobcats being able to come back from a deficit from last game and being able to just kind of come back and able to win that matchup. So thanks again for coming in, watching us here on Bobcat Esports YouTube. Tomorrow we will have the Overwatch team going in up against Venton. So make sure to stay tuned and actually tune in for that matchup, as we will have Chris commentating for that. So again, thank you for watching and have a good rest of your day.
These boys, broke boys, watch this, watch this. These boys, broke boys, watch this, watch this. I can make the whole crowd watch this, watch this. I can make it one stop, watch this. These boys, broke boys, watch this, watch this. These boys, broke boys, watch this, watch this. I can make the whole crowd watch this, watch this. I can make it one stop, watch this. These boys, broke boys, watch this, watch this. These boys, broke boys, watch this, watch this. I can make the whole crowd watch this, watch this. I can make it one stop, watch this. I can make it one stop. I ain't got no sauce to pop. I can make it one stop. I ain't got no sauce to pop.
Thank you.